We are just 8 days from my Love on Your Terms Masterclass. Will you be there? Grab your virtual seat at bit.ly/love on your terms. That's bit.ly/love on your terms. I'll see you there. What if you knew you were enough? What would your life look like? What would love look like? This is the Enough Factor broadcast, where we're redefining what makes you enough in life and in love. Now here's your host, Suzette. Hello everybody, it's your life coach and relationship solutionist, Suzette Virnon, and welcome to my Enough Factor podcast. If you're new, I want you to know that the next 30 minutes or so is going to change your life. The reason I started this podcast is because I felt like the conversation about what makes us enough was not deep enough. It didn't truly reflect or vocalize what I was experiencing in my life and what my clients over the age of 40 needed in order to have the life and quality relationships they desired. And so I decided to have this podcast so I could expand the conversation and help you take a deeper dive into 3 critical factors of enoughness: your voice, your value, and your vision. And to those who listen regularly, thank you. You're the reason I keep doing what I'm doing. Your direct messages and your phone calls, just you telling me how much this podcast is transforming your life, opening your mind, giving you hope again, giving you perspective, giving you context. It's just exactly what fuels what I do. Well, today I want to continue the conversation about relationships. The dissatisfaction that oftentimes high-achieving women have to overcome in order to reach their full potential. But why should relationships be something you have to overcome? Why can't you have love on your terms? So that's what we're going to talk about. Why? Why even consider love on your terms? First, because for so long, I didn't know that it was even possible. I didn't even know it was a thing. Love was something you fell into. There was no choice about it. And by virtue of there being no choice, there was no reason for terms, right? If you're going to fall in love and become deaf, dumb, and blind, right? I can't eat, I can't sleep, I can't think. All I do is think about you. I love Chrisette Michelle. But that being the definition of love, all I do is think about you, that is really not my terms. And it's not empowering, is it, ladies? Or listeners, I should say, rather, because I realize that not only women, but men, some really cool men, listen to me as well. Having a more empowered vantage point was what my authentic heart desired. Number 2, because so many women have been, quote unquote, bamboozled by love. That's a reason to have love on your terms. Instead of feeling like you're getting cut off by the knees, or somebody threw marbles underneath your feet and it threw you off balance. Love is not that. But yet, many of us grew up thinking that love was. You couldn't help yourself. It just drew you in. I know he's not good for me, but I can't help it. I know he's not treating me right, but I'm quote unquote in love with him. Not too long ago, I did a relationship talk Tuesday where I said this very thing. This was the topic, that being in love is not a good enough reason to betray yourself, right? But honestly, isn't the old paradigm, the old conventional beliefs about love, something that overpowers you to the point that you can't even look out for yourself? You can't even think for yourself. You can't even rationalize that you become somebody different. That love, quote unquote, love is pulling you and you don't have a choice in the matter. That's not power. And that's why there's a reason for love on your terms. Because when they're your terms, then you are empowered to choose. I think one of the most liberating things that happened on my journey of love was discovering a book laying on my sister's bed. I was in her room. I don't know why. Probably I wanted some earrings, makeup, or something that she had. Because she's so fly. And I was in her room and I noticed on her bed there was the book, Love is a Choice. The title alone drew me because prior to that, I never even contemplated. I didn't even know to even think about having a choice. That was the first time that I ever saw that anywhere, that love is a choice, right? So it brings some intentionality into the mix. It doesn't throw you off balance and leave you reeling in a corner. It is a choice. So that's a reason. And also because, this whole love done me wrong and love don't love me, it may sell records, right? But at some point in your maturation, in your self-discovery, isn't it tiring to feel like there is something called love that can cause you to lose who you are? After all that you've done to gain what you've gained, to accomplish what you've accomplished, to shut the mouths of the naysayers, to be the first in your family to do it, it is so disempowering to think that just one little 4-letter word can make it all go away. And now you're at the mercy of a love that doesn't want to love you back. That's the reason why we want love on our terms. Another reason is for so long, the only terms a woman was allowed to have were those that a man gave her. She didn't have a right to have an opinion. She didn't have a right to have an original thought. And for you to do so, you were stepping up. You stepping out of place. Wait a minute. You must not know. You ain't in charge of this. And even in situations where the man that they were involved with really loved them, their opinion was only welcomed in private. It was not welcomed in the marketplace. It was not welcomed in the public square. It was not welcomed in church. It was not welcomed even in their home because, quote unquote, he was the king of the castle and everybody in the household rallied around him. But very few households, it was okay for the wife, the woman in that romantic union to have an opinion. She didn't even have property of her own. She couldn't even own property. She couldn't even vote. Right? That's why having love on your terms is so important. It gives you a right to speak up for you, to speak up for what your heart wants and your heart needs and your heart deserves, right? And then the fourth thing, a fourth reason that you want love on your terms is because you want more from your relationships. Regardless to whether you're married or single, somewhere in between, it's complicated, friends with benefits, right? Situationships, whatever your experience of love is right now. Having your own terms, having your own voice, being able to speak up for yourself as yourself. That's the reason to have love on your terms. And that's the reason why women that are single, women who are married, women who are over 40, and even some women who are under 40, but they just don't want to end up going through the same headaches and heartaches that they've seen their mother, their auntie, their big sis go through. Grandma, Gma, they saw them go through things in their relationship that they don't want to repeat. And also, how many of you know that the age of people getting divorced is getting younger and younger? Right? When I got divorced, I was in my 30s. And then, of course, I got married again and got divorced again. So then it was in my early 40s, right? But then people are coming to me. Women are coming to me that have already had a divorce by the time they're 30 years old. They've already had their hearts broken. They've already had their enoughness shaken. They've already had their confidence eroded by the time they are 30 years old. And if you're listening, even though my Love on Your Terms Masterclass is targeting women over 40, please understand, if you want to learn the things that we wish we had known before we thought we knew better, then you are very welcomed to register. So what can you expect at my Love on Your Terms Masterclass? Let me tell you what it will not be. It will not be a place for man bashing. It will not be a place for that. When you truly have discovered the greatest love of all, you have no need to put anybody else down. That's how I know that we as a collective womanhood need some healing, because so much derogatory speak comes out of our mouths when we think about men. And we forget that when God made man, he said it was good. And he didn't say it was a mistake. He made men and women different on purpose. And even if you're listening and you don't believe in God, just look at our anatomy. Just look at the differences. Just sit back and observe some things that are universal about men and universal about women, and form your own conclusion. There is a difference there. And when you are confident in who you are, and you have fully healed from your pain, you have no reason to bash anybody, right? So there won't be any of that going on. There will not be this 10 tips to make him love you, 5 steps to make him stay, and the number one thing that you can do that will keep him from cheating on you. It's not going to be tips and tricks and techniques to make a man fall madly in love with you. There will be no manipulative tactics. There will be no role playing. The whole premise of love on your terms is to take the mask off. Stop pretending. Stop living up to somebody else's definition, right? And to define your enoughness on your own terms so that you can have love on your own terms. Another thing that it will not be is we will not be trying to game an already broken system. Let's face it, y'all. This falling in love, chemistry-driven system is not working. It is not working for women who have been divorced before. It's not working for women who've been married before, who might be widowed. It's not working for the women that I said that are getting divorces younger. They're finding out that just because they look good on paper does not mean they have the skills, the relationship skills needed to be in an intimate relationship. So no, we are not going to be glorifying the old paradigm and me telling you how to navigate it. No, we are debunking that whole approach of falling in love, that whole approach that thinking that because you find him attractive and he finds you attractive, then maybe that's the way to happily ever after. No, 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 no. In love on your terms, it's about becoming more intentional about your terms and more wise with your heart, right? So it won't be any of that. The focus for my Love on Your Terms Masterclass is simple. It's you taking off the mask and finding what truly makes you enough. Not so that I'll know it or any man will co-sign on it, but for you. The you whose esteem got wounded by that last relationship. The you that got broken by what you went through. The you that's been left that despite all that you have accomplished in this world, there's still that part of you that is wondering why what happened to you happened. Was it your fault? Did you do something wrong? Why do other people get to have great relationships and you don't? Is it because you're a strong woman? Is it because you're an accomplished woman? Is it because you're ambitious? Is it because you're driven? And so you kind of are walking through that part of your life on eggshells because you don't know whether it's you. You don't know how far to go to the right. You don't know how far to go to the left. You just don't know. You're in unfamiliar territory. And it's time for you to get your footing. It's time for us to get underneath those lids, to remove them, to remove that limiting belief from your mind, to remove it, to not let it have the power over you that it's had. Ideologies. This is what was modeled for you. And oftentimes, it's what our moms and our dads, significant people in our lives, what we saw them go through that has shaped your experience of relationships. A client of mine shared with me. She said, I realized that I was stuck in my parents' relationship. I'm paying for it. I'm taking up the toll for my parents' relationship. They passed that energy to me, and I'm experiencing it. I'm caught in their cycle. I'm stuck in their cycle. This is the thing. You deserve better. That's why better is calling you. You deserve better. That's why you're listening to this podcast right now. Maybe you had thought that maybe at this time in your life, that the most you could do was just settle snugly into your life, count your blessings, and just, float on along. That those dreams of your youth, they were youthful fantasies, and all you want to do is just sit in your boring life. But what happens when more calls you? What happens when something like this podcast, or you stumble on something that rattles you out of complacency and says, baby, you ain't done yet. No, sweetheart, your love story is not over yet. It's not over yet. There's still a depth to self-love that you haven't reached yet. There's still fear hanging on. You made it sound sexy. You made it sound spiritual. And maybe there are other people around you co-signing on it. But the truth of the matter is, you have allowed yourself to be suppressed because you're afraid of risking your heart again. But let me tell you something. If better is calling you, it's because better is out there for you. And if you do decide to sit in your chair and that be it, let it be because of your contentment, not because of your apathy, not because you allow the hard knocks of life to lull you into complacency. If you are going to sit on your chair, hug your grandchildren, I got Jesus and that's enough, let it be from a place of peace and joy and contentment, not because you punked out on yourself, not because you gave up on yourself, not because you packed your dreams up and put a lock on them. If you're listening to this and something is being stirred inside of you, then I tell you to run, not walk, to my Love on Your Terms landing page. So you can go in and get registered. It's a free masterclass, but you do have to register. Go to that's bit.ly, right? That's ly /love on your terms. That's easy enough, isn't it? Even while you're listening to this podcast, open up another browser and type it in. bit.ly /love on your terms. And you'll see exactly what it's about. Then make up your mind. If something inside of you is stirred, if something inside of you is curious, if something inside of you or something on it piques your interest, you find yourself when you're at a rest state, that thought comes back that says, maybe I should check that out. I don't have nothing else going on. What's the harm? Then do it. Because if that's what's happening, life is handing you a gift. but you gotta receive it. Okay? Well, that's it for now. The Masterclass starts September 12th through the 16th. It's a 5-day Masterclass. We'll be airing at 7 p.m. nightly. Go on and register and get all the details. There's also a Facebook community to get yourself prepared to meet other women who want more from their relationships as well. I tell you, it's a beautiful community. It's a loving community. Do that. You have nothing to lose and you have everything to gain. All righty? Well, until next time, I want you to always remember that you are worthy. You are worth it. You are more than enough. Bye now. You have just listened to the Enough Factor podcast with your host, Suzette Vernon. To get notified of new episodes or to dig deeper into today's topic, become a subscriber. And while you're at it, tell us how we're doing and what topics you're interested in. We appreciate your feedback and your reviews. Until next time, remember, you are worthy, you are worth it, you are enough.